Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go. Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backstar Boxing. Now, man, crazy news, man. I'm gonna compile a lot of information on you guys, man. Try to keep up, kids. Try to keep up, kids. Now, Eddie Hearn is gonna sue WBC, man, because DILLIAN WHYTE, man, he's been fighting a lot of top people, and he's finally tired of it, man. He's tired of it, and he should be fighting Deontay Wilder. Now, apparently, Dominic Brazil got up to the number one ranking, and Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Brazil as his mandatory. How Brazil became the mandatory, God knows. Only God knows. You know, it's shocking to me because DILLIAN WHYTE beat former champion, WBO champion Joseph Parker, and a pretty competitive fight, but nevertheless, DILLIAN WHYTE got the W. Now that being said, man, DILLIAN WHYTE's fighting another undefeated fighter in Oscar Rivas in July, right? He's been fighting top contenders and top people for years now. And Eddie Hearn said they're going to take legal action if Deontay Wilder tries to fight Luis Ortiz. And the WBC basically has fiat, basically means, you know, I'm the WBC and I say so. So they basically can bend the rules to wherever they want it to be. So if WBC wants to force another mandatory on Deontay Wilder before he fights any of these other contenders, well, they can do that, right? Now, that being said, after Eddie Hearn came out talking about he was going to sue WBC, guess what they did? They made my boy DILLIAN WHYTE the number one contender or the number one ranking in the WBC. Now, if you guys didn't know, DILLIAN WHYTE already has the WBC silver title, right? He's already the silver champion. Now he's number one ranked fighter. You know, they boosted him up because Eddie Hearn, a lawyer, a legal, advisor, promoter in boxing, threatened to sue. And he knows what he's doing. You know, his dad, Eddie Hearn's father, used to be an accountant. They just know law pretty well, right? They work internationally. When you start traveling internationally, you start getting investors to invest at least $1 billion in the DANs, and you have multiple networks working with you and things like that. I mean, you know law. I mean, they definitely had a case for DILLIAN WHYTE. That's why the WBC immediately put DILLIAN WHYTE as the number one fighter for WBC. Now, that being said, man, DILLIAN WHYTE chose to do things his way. A lot of people were saying, hey, man, you should have fought Luis Ortiz and you could have been fought Deontay Wilder. You should have signed with Al Heyman, right? But the fact of the matter is this, that's true. But at the same time, DILLIAN WHYTE wanted to do it his way. And the reason why he's doing it his way is because most of his fan base is based out the UK. In fact, DILLIAN WHYTE has such big numbers. His numbers were actually better than Anthony Joshua's numbers when he was a contender. So his numbers are actually better than Anthony Joshua's when he was coming up, because DILLIAN WHYTE's never been a champion. That being said, as a person who's never been champion before, I remember Hatman broke this down. If you guys don't follow his channel, go look at his channel. He broke down the numbers between DILLIAN WHYTE and Anthony Joshua, and he showed that DILLIAN WHYTE was actually doing better in his numbers, in viewership in the UK, at least as Anthony Joshua was a contender and DILLIAN WHYTE was a contender. They actually compared and contrasted and said, hey, DILLIAN WHYTE's actually the bigger fighter, without being a champion. Now, if DILLIAN WHYTE ever becomes a champion, who knows what his numbers will be like. That being said, man, that's why DILLIAN WHYTE is still working with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, because he built such a big fan base there. That's basically, it's the best. It's the best out of anyone out the UK that's in the heavyweight division right now. It was better than Anthony Joshua's when he was coming up. Maybe after he was a champion, it was different. But as a contender, DILLIAN WHYTE's numbers are better than Anthony Joshua's. Therefore, he's going to stay in the base that he's already built a fan base in, which is the UK, right? So I had to explain that real quick so you guys know that the reason why DILLIAN WHYTE didn't sign with Al Heyman and fight Ortiz is because he already built a base in the UK in Matchroom. So he decided to stay with him, right? That's why he's still doing it his way. Now, that being said, he's still going to get his way. He's still going to get this Wilder fight. It's still happening, right? Eddie Hearn threatened the WBC. Bam. Number one contender out of nowhere. He's the WBC silver champion anyway. He should already be that, right? How can you have the WBC title and silver title right underneath the WBC, and be ranked number 2 or 3 or 4. Anything less than number 1 doesn't make any sense anyway. So that being said, man, Deontay Wilder might have to fight Dillian White. People were saying the fight signed with Luis Ortiz and everything like that. They're going to have to switch that up. Fights get canceled all the time. They get switched up all the time. And with the threat of a lawsuit, the WBC might have to enforce the rules, and unless Deontay Wilder wants to vacate that title, Dillian White is most likely going to get the fight with Deontay Wilder. Now, a lot of people are saying this is a desperation move from Eddie Hearn. Says Anthony Joshua lost that fight, and they want Deontay Wilder to lose. I agree. I think this is a desperation move from Eddie Hearn. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a desperation move from Eddie Hearn, but it's a good move nevertheless. Smart move actually. Eddie Hearn is playing chess, right? Because I remember before this, Dillian White, and they're talking about Dillian White versus Tyson Fury, right? That's the fight they were talking about. I remember Tyson Fury was trying to give props to Dillian White, and Dillian White's like, "Dude, I'll knock you out," and then Tyson Fury's like, "Nah, I'll knock you out." And then Dillian White said something funny like, "Dude, you can't even bust a nut, bro. You can't even do that. You can't." He said you can't pop a wank off or something like that. That's what they say in the UK. I thought that was really funny. So that was actually supposed to happen, but ever since this Anthony Joshua thing, Eddie Hearn did 180 and said, "Nah, we gotta make it. We gotta make it. Deontay Wilder lose his fight." And the best fighter right now, who's in a position, who's been fighting elite level fighters, is a Dillian White right now. So that being said, man, Eddie Hearn pushing on the WBC for this fight to happen, and it's looking like it's going to happen, man. I'm only waiting for, it's going to be a couple of days now. I'm guessing it's going to happen in a couple of days where WBC is going to have to force Deontay Wilder to fight Dillian White. Expect that to happen really soon, Eddie Hearn's been making really boss moves lately to make his top heavyweight fighters become these mandatories so he can have his fighters fight for those titles again. Right, I already talked about Joseph Parker earlier, how he signed with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, and now Dillian White, who fights by fight basis with Eddie Hearn. But I think Dillian White will get a sense of loyalty from Eddie Hearn if he can get that Deontay Wilder fight. Who knows where he'll go from there? Who knows where he'll go from there? So let me know how you guys feel about it, though, man. They made Dillian White number 1 mandatory for Deontay Wilder, so he will have to fight him eventually. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.